All right, let's do this.
This is episode number 9 of the Homeowners Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowners Show. Kevin, don't think you're getting off easy on this one, bud.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
You were a no-show last week. You left me hanging in the wind.
Well, what do you expect?
I don't think that's a real saying.
I had to wash my hair, man.
Wash your hair?
Yeah, according to, who was it? Someone online said I was washing my hair.
Did you wash it all off the top?
It's completely gone. It's completely gone. You ever heard of Nair?
Nair?
It's not shampoo.
It's not shampoo?
No, it makes your hair fall right out.
Needs to fix that thing on your face then.
Yeah, I'm not going to do much about that.
It's November.
I don't buy that. What's
Well, okay, so in all honesty, there was a civil rights rally. Yeah, and I was stopping a fight in a parking lot.
that sounds likely for the current election cycle.
Well, there was an Obama fashion show.
An Obama fashion show.
It was weird, dude. At this fashion show, I got trapped in an oil painting, and I got a colonoscopy.
Which party was this for?
It was... Well, it was weird, because I had explosive diarrhea while I was doing that, and it was pretty bad. I'm just saying.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
No one wants to hear about your bowel movements.
Oh, well. It is what it is. But yeah, and then kind of the last thing, probably the weirdest thing, is I had to go out of town for a little while, and I had an uncle who was repairing his car, and I had to hold a flashlight so he could repair his car.
You had to hold a flashlight for your uncle to repair his car. Out of town.
Well, of course. I don't have an uncle in town. That would be weird.
I don't think you have any family member that likes you enough to ask you to hold a flashlight for them.
They live a long way away. I'm just saying. All
like
of my
distant
family
relatives?
members,
I mean, it's like another continent or something?
Yeah, it's a long way away.
They don't even speak the same language?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't buy that either.
Well, I'm pretty much out of excuses at this point. These are all the ones that
I think so. So we've got Lee Moore and Jeff Polk.
Yeah, they're in there.
Let's see, Ashley Clark, Steph Hagen. These are all really an honorable mention by Jessica Legan here. Abducted by aliens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't believe you were abducted. I think you came from aliens. That's what
Not sure that I'm really existing right now.
And I think one of my personal favorites was David Lauer here said I don't work there anymore.
I'm gone.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody writing into the show and giving us Kevin some terrible excuses.
They were bad.
They were, but to be fair, they were way better than anything you were going to come up with.
Oh, the real reason wasn't that good. Let's just be honest.
So, welcome to the Homeowners Show. We are glad you guys could join us. If you have not hit that subscription button yet there on iTunes, go ahead and do that, or the notification bell subscription button on YouTube. You can also follow us on Stitcher. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and at homeownersshow.com, where you can find all of the latest and greatest homeowners information. And we have a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about landscaping and everything that surrounds that. But before that, we wanted to go ahead and recognize the time of the year. We just got, by the time this comes out, Election Tuesday will have been a week behind us, but we just went through a pretty crazy election cycle.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun.
Well, there was a lot of things said about it.
I tell you, it was fun for me because it's really neat going down the road because people have become really outspoken about their views, and so like you have like neighbors like side-eyeing each other, and you can just like kind of sit in the street and just watch them, and like one person puts out a sign, and then this guy, he doesn't agree with him, so he puts out his sign, so this guy puts out 2 more signs. Like that's going to change his mind. That made the difference. That it flipped him.
And I can't tell you how many friends that I had, posting on Facebook, someone stole my sign again. Well, stop putting it back up.
Yeah, and like in here in Texas, on the Senate race,
Yeah.
we made history this year. Right?
Yeah, congratulations us.
Congratulations us. What was it, 109?
$109 raised for these two campaigns.
Well, I think it was more than dollars.
What'd I say? $109. $109 million.
$109 million spent on the Senate race in Texas. So congratulations to us. We all lost.
We all lost a lot of money.
No matter who won, we all lost. It was $109 million. They could have gone someplace else. So
insane.
frustrating. But today we have our good friend Samir in studio to talk about his company, Greenscape Innovations.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. Thank you for being here, man.
Oh, no problem.
Glad you could be here. So tell us, just to get us started, how did you get started in your business?
Well, it happened a long time ago.
By the way, I'm eyeing that polo you're wearing right there. That's
Really?
I don't know if they can see that on the camera. Can you show them?
make sure.
I mean, give them like a little.
Make sure we can see it.
There you go.
It's over there. No, I grew up in a house where my dad had his own business.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized the value of being self-employed, being an entrepreneur. He had a landscape and maintenance company for himself, and I, followed the tracks. I followed that path with him. He taught me, pretty much everything that I needed to know to get going. Right out of high school, I started doing irrigation systems. I got my irrigator's license.
Yeah.
I started doing that with him. A few months into it, I realized I wanted to do it on my own, and I came up to him. I was like, "Hey, Dad, I think I want to start doing this on my own." And instead of being negative and confronting me about it, he was like, "Okay, great," and that was that. And the first 2 or 3 jobs that I ended up doing were because of him.
Yeah.
Jobs that he bid, and jobs that he landed and told me. He pretty much told me, "Hey, I've got this job here.
Mm-hmm.
It's this work. You're charging this amount. You just need to go do it."
Yeah.
And that just opened up the door for me to start doing my business.
Yeah. Did that feel natural for you?
Yeah, no, I've loved working outdoors. I don't, now 17 years into it, I don't have a hands-on approach on it anymore, but that's the reason I started, because I loved working with my hands.
Yeah.
I loved being outdoors, and not because during high school, I had a taste of working for someone.
Yeah.
And having my set hours and having somebody tell me what I needed to do and how I needed to do it, and it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Working for yourself, it's hard. It's hard, but it has so many.
The upside is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
The upside is awesome. When it's good, it's amazing. When it's bad, it's bad, because you're the one that has to respond for and answer to all the negative.
Yeah, and and I think we've had several conversations with guys who have owned their own business or been sort of entrepreneurial.
Right.
And I was kind of curious. I think you're the first one we've talked to that's kind of been kind of like a dynasty kind of person, where had a parent that also did that, and that's
Right.
why I was kind of like, is that kind of natural when you did it seem like, I don't really, not that you didn't have any other option, but well, that's just kind of the thing that you go do, is you go start your own business and
Right.
build your own thing, and then you're running it.
Well, it's not necessarily that. Because it could have turned out where I took over his business.
Right, yeah.
But it wasn't like that. I wanted to do my own thing. And it's just, I've never wanted to be in a position where somebody told me, you have that because of me.
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to be a self-made,
Mm-hmm.
I have what I have because of me and because of God.
Yeah.
You know, and I understand. I mean, God has been there the whole way.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of times where I've gotten things that I shouldn't have gotten, and it's not because of me.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of man. It's because of God.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's been up and down from when I started. You know, now I'm in a better position where I have a lot better structure and I have more knowledge. I have more knowledge on my business, and I know how to run it, and I know what I need to do to sustain it and to maintain it where it needs to stay to be profitable and to maintain my employees and everything. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm at a point where I don't know. It's just you just learn a lot of things over time. You know, you learn by trial and error.
Yeah.
And but my dad did. I mean, I grew up working like when my friends would come back. When we'd come back to school, they'd tell me about the awesome places that they went. You know, we went here for our summer vacation. And what did you do? Well, I worked. I worked all summer long. You know.
Yeah.
But once I got older and it got to the point where like, yeah, you went here, but I worked and I have money. Hey, and I had friends who were like, hey, do you want to go out to the movies? I was like, no, I can't. I don't have money. I was like, well, I got you this time. I worked this summer and I have a few dollars I can spare.
Yeah.
It just. There's nothing like being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I wish more people would get on board with.
Yeah.
Because
or could at least experience.
Right.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, gosh, well, with our country, when it first started, there was more entrepreneurs. That was the thing to do. Go
There's nothing
out.
but entrepreneurs.
Yes. And those were the greater times. Now, we've been sold a lie that, you go to school and you get a good job and hopefully you don't get fired.
Yeah.
But being an entrepreneur, it's a lot of work, but the upside on it is so much greater.
Yeah. You're singing my song, man. So you initially started doing irrigation.
Right. No.
So how has it evolved? To now? Well,
originally, right out of high school, I went and got my irrigator's license to start doing irrigation, and I started doing irrigation, with my dad. And then after that, once I was doing it on my own, I was doing irrigation, but there wasn't enough work for me to stay busy just with irrigation. So, I mean, I started doing a little bit of drainage, a little bit of landscaping, and once I started doing the landscaping, customers that we did landscaping for asked us if we would do maintenance, which I was against because I grew up doing maintenance. I hated maintenance.
Yeah.
It's just hard to keep somebody pleased over and over and over. If you stare at anything long enough, you're going to find something wrong with it. Whereas where you go in with a single one-time job, you go in, you do it right, and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
But I caved in to so many customers asking me, and we started doing maintenance. And now we offer maintenance, but it's not something that I lean to. I'm hoping to hand that off to one of my employees and have them manage it to where they can handle it and just run with it and make sure that everyth's done the way it should be.
Yeah.
But from there, we just started. Now we do patios, fencing. We're a turnkey operation now. We do everything from clearing your lot to the final landscape installation after your house is built. We do outdoor lighting. We do outdoor living areas. I mean, you want a koi pond, we can do it. Fountains, pretty much anything outdoors except install your pool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's just too many things to name. If If you need it done outdoors, we can probably do it for you.
Yeah.
So do you come in? So you mentioned whenever a house was being built, and that's something that y'all do. But I assume you do this for homeowners that have a house that's already been built as well. And
right.
And a lot of those guys, you know, they are in their home, they own their home, and at some point they decide, you know, maybe I don't like the way my house looks from the outside. I just want someone to come in here and tell me what to do, because for me, personally, I know I want my house to look better, but I don't necessarily know what that is. If I were to call you, what would you be able to do for me?
Well, I mean, you'd be surprised how often I come into a job and people tell me, oh, they hate these plants, they don't like them, they never have. And then I'll come in here and I'll, move them around using some of their landscaping that they already have, but bringing in additional plants and just changing the way they're arranged. And you'd be surprised how often they end up loving it. And they don't realize that, 50-60% of the plants that I use are plants that they already had. What I've come to understand is that you can make any landscaping look good with almost any plants. It's just a matter of where you place the plants and the staging them, making sure that you take into account how they're going to grow, what whether they're going to need lights, shade, or how much water, just what it's going to take for them to actually prosper and actually be at their full potential. There's been plenty of times where people tell me that they hate a certain plant, and I end up using those plants in their landscape, and they don't realize it. And then they're like, "Oh man, we love it." And then when we sit down to it, and we start giving them the list of the plants that we used and how to take care of them, they're dumbfounded that I ended up using the plants that they hated.
Right.
You'd be surprised how often that happens.
But you're able to come in and basically tell me, you ought to consider doing this.
Right.
This is something we can do for you. I know one of the things that we deal with a lot here in the area that we live in is elevation issues, and maybe water doesn't run off as well as it should, and so
right.
Maybe it's French drains, or maybe it's just a certain way we do certain landscaping. I assume that's all stuff that you can help me know as a homeowner.
Right. No, and whenever we do landscaping, we take into consideration where your runoff is going to go.
Okay.
I'm going to take into consideration where the water from your roof is going to go, where the water that's just raining going to go. And I try to make sure that all that's taken into account when your landscape is being designed.
Right.
Because a lot of times you get these landscapes that they look great and awesome, but the first time it rains, the awesome landscape, the awesome flower beds that were built are actually a dam, and they end up creating a drainage issue. Either backing up the water back into your property or even into your home. But I ensure that I take all of that into consideration. Drip lines, path of the water that's going to be flowing. And that's, one of the things that I love to do. I love to come in and solve people's issues and problems that other people haven't been able to figure out. I love it. I like that. That's one of my favorite things where they've had multiple people come in and try their situations or not situation, but try their approach at it, and they haven't been able to solve it. And then I come in and I'm like, all right, we're going to do it like this and like this and like that. And they're like, well, man, why does it cost so much? And I'm like, well, if it doesn't work, I will be back and make sure that I will do whatever it takes to correct it, and and that's one of the reasons that I'm not. If you're looking for a cheap deal, it's not me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not me. I'm not the most expensive, but I'm not the cheapest either.
Yeah.
But we stand behind everything that we do.
I was going to say, is there a particular instance that comes top of mind that you can think of that would be like a problem that you solved?
Oh yeah,
recently?
Not recently, but I remember a year or so ago, I had a customer out in Willis who was on the lake on Loch Ness Drive. I think it's Loch Ness Drive.
Don't give their address or anything. We don't name these people.
No. Yeah, he's a doctor. His name. You want a social? No. They had this lake house where they were at the bottom of the hill, and with their luck, every single time that it rained, it came off the street and would go into their driveway, and from their driveway, it would go into their house.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they found that out was one of the first few times that they spent the night at their lake house, they had a storm, and they decided to go out the front door, or open the front door while it was raining.
Mm-hmm.
They opened the door, the water
Ooh.
just flooded in.
Goodness.
The way that I solved that issue was I created a concrete channel at the end of their driveway with a galvanized metal grate,
Mm-hmm.
that dropped into a 10-inch pipe that ran to the lake. It was an expensive project, but
It's probably cheaper than flooding the house with water.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, and on that situation, we had one of those major floods. We had a major flood that they didn't live there. I drove out there during the flood through the high water to check it out for myself because I wanted to make sure that it worked. And it was on Calvary Road. I'm driving down Calvary Road during this flood, and there's a low section on the road where there was a fire engine, just escorting people out, and I'm driving through, and I feel my truck being pushed because there's a little low line area. But I got past it, and once I got there, there was no more issues. And I got to the house, and once I saw that the drainage that we had installed worked like a charm, it just, it was well worth it, man. I don't know how to explain that feeling because, deep down, this is my design. This is my name on the line pretty much. And, and it worked.
And they're probably singing your praises.
Yeah, no, I was patting my own back.
I didn't need them.
Because the way we engineered it. I mean, we engineered it we gave it a foot of space with that galvanized grate over it for it to catch any water that was coming from that driveway. Because I mean, gosh, they had like a 6-foot drop from the street to where the driveway ended.
Wow, dude.
I mean, it was a long driveway, and it was, I don't know how to explain it, but it just, just the when I saw that no water and the dirt line on their foundation was like half an inch, 2 inches. So if it would have skipped over and got onto it, onto the grass area and on the house, I mean, it would have flooded their house in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
But the drainage system that we installed handled it. It took it to the lake, and no issues at all. It's probably been 2-3 years now, and we've had plenty of rains to prove.
We had a couple of floods since then.
To test it, and I stand behind all of my work.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I've learned. If you're gonna do something, you got to stand behind it.
Yeah.
And no matter what, and that's one thing that I do. I will stand behind anything that we install, without any exception. I will stand behind it. There's been, I haven't gotten it right all the time.
Yeah.
But I've made it right. I've gone back and repaired any issues that that weren't resolved. Now, well, this is in the past. Now, man, I'm pretty good at it now.
Yeah.
Now if I set up a design and that's what it's gonna take. That's what it's gonna take, and it'll handle it. I haven't had an issue where we had to go back to repair something in years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
So tell me this. Help me understand again. Our show is definitely geared towards how can people who own their home their home better.
Right.
Right. So tell me, how does a certain amount of landscaping, or maybe a new patio, or an outdoor kitchen or something like that, how does that increase the value of my home? I think for me, it increases my own ability to like the home that I live in, right?
Right.
It increases
personal
my
enjoyment.
Yeah, personal enjoyment for sure. But am I increasing the value of my home, or am I just spending a lot of money for my own personal enjoyment?
Well, it depends. Because I get people that call me all the time that they're going to sell, and they want us to come in there and revamp it and change it. And, more often than not, I discourage them against that. You'd be surprised how many times they come in and they're asking me to re-landscape it because they want to give it more curb appeal, or they want to be something that's going to attract buyers.
Sure.
But more often than not, I talk people out of it, and I tell them to, offer up a landscape budget instead. Because I've had situations where, people have spent $9,000-$10,000 on landscaping, and then they sell their house 6-8 months down the road. Well, I actually had a situation where about 7 or 8 months down the road, the new homeowners that for the house that we landscaped call me to come in and tear out everything that we did because they want to go with a different theme. I had a situation like that where, this lady spent about $10,000 on re-landscaping her entire house. And probably 8 months down the road, the new homeowners called us for a bid to re-landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting, because it does tell me on some level that certain jobs are definitely for your own personal enjoyment. For example, I would assume that, for me, I would love an outdoor kitchen in my house, because I enjoy being outside. I enjoy grilling outside. I enjoy having people over to my house, and we're going to spend time around that outdoor kitchen. But maybe someone else, interested in buying my house, I've spent, thousands of dollars on this outdoor space, and they don't really care to be outside.
Right. No, that's very true. I've had the situations where we go in and we take out outdoor kitchens.
Wow.
Because they just don't use it, and they want the space for the patio.
Sure.
Those heathens.
I don't know what's wrong with them, but whatever.
No, an outdoor kitchen is expensive.
Sure they are.
And there's been 3 times that we've gone in to remove outdoor kitchens and just add more patio space.
Okay.
It's just, I like to treat people the way that I would want to be treated. I'm not going to sell you something that you don't need. So when I offer people, when I tell them, hey, maybe you should offer up a landscape budget, instead of spending $2,000-$3,000 with me, why don't you put those $2,000-$3,000 into a landscape budget for the new homeowner?
Sure.
That's going to be more of an incentive for them to buy.
Just make sure I'm leaving my card.
Yeah. No, and gosh, we do plenty of work.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not at a point where I need to get your work to survive. I would love your work.
Yeah.
But we don't need it to continue. We have quite a wide range of customers from all walks of life that we service. But and I treat them all the same. If you're going to do a couple $100 job or $100,000 job, I'm going to treat you the same.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the same courtesy. It doesn't matter how much you spent with us, you know.
So with your customers, then, what do you find is like the biggest gap in their knowledge as far as like being prepared to hire you? Like what are they least prepared for, as far as what they know and what they're ready for?
A lot of the times, if they've never had professional landscaping done, they're taken back by the cost. You know, and I've had people that try to compare landscaping to what it would cost them to go do it, but they're not taking into account the cost of running a business, employees, everything. And one thing that does, well, I feel that does a little bit of damage to the industry is all of these, HGTV shows.
Sure.
Where they're like, oh yeah, we did it in 2 days and we only spent $500. But in reality, that $500 job was maybe a $3,000 job. It just
when you account for people's time. And,
when you account for people's time and the actual cost of getting it installed.
Well, and I say that more often than not that you have to value what you value, and so if you value going in and spending the time and doing the job, and that's one of the things we even say in our intro. If you're DIY, hey, by all means, let's figure out how to do that, and let us help you. Think through how to do that better.
Right.
And that's great if you want to do that. But for most of us, we've got jobs, we've got families, and we've got, leisure activities that we want to do. And maybe we don't want to spend the time doing this. So we're going to have to pay someone to do it. But the thing that I really heard you say, and that we hear often, is we're going to guarantee this. We're going to back it up. So maybe I wind up doing some work and I'm still having drainage issues.
Oh yeah,
so I'm gonna have to call you anyway.
Yeah, No, and you'd be surprised how often we don't get a job because somebody else is cheaper, and 6-8 months, a year down the road, they call us back to come and repair the issues that were. I mean, that all happens quite often.
Yeah,
especially with irrigation and drainage. That happens quite often. And I always hear the stories when we come in for a landscape job where the homeowner has tried this plant, that plant, and this plant, and nothing worked. But the thing is, they're not taking into consideration, the area the plant's being installed. They're not taking into consideration, well, gosh, you really don't have that much sun. It's shaded most of the time, or it's sunny all day, and they're trying to install plants that need a lot of shade in areas that have sun all day.
Just getting burned up.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. You'd be surprised how often I come in and, customers call us because they're just tired. They're on their third, fourth time of replacing plants, and they keep on dying. But they're not checking whether the sprinkler system's covering the area, whether it's draining properly, or whether they're using the plants that will be right for the area that they're installing. That has a lot to do. And us as a company. We take all of that in consideration. And a lot of companies do that.
Sure.
And I try to be at a point where, if you don't need something, also, I'm not gonna, I'll let you know if you need it or not. I'm not gonna sell you something you don't need. There's been plenty of times where people get dumbfounded when I come in for an issue that they think they have, and I'm like, you don't need that. You really just need to do this, which costs you nothing to do. And they're grateful, and then they do have something they need, and they call us back. They call us back. There's been plenty of times, there's plenty of times where I give people advice, and that's the last I hear of them. But there's more often than not, I give somebody advice, it fixes their issue, but then they call us back on something else that they weren't able to solve, or something that they really needed done.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, it just goes back to treating people how you would want to be treated as a customer. Yeah.
Well, so like with customers then, I mean, because I know you said that, I mean, like one of your favorite things is to solve problems.
Yes.
So like what do you think is probably like the biggest or the most common problem that DIY people make that you come in and fix?
Drainage.
Drainage?
Yeah.
Do you have people that have tried to put in French drains by themselves, or like what do you mean by drainage?
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah?
I've had in situations where people have tried to fix their own drainage, and it's just done wrong. They had the right plan, but the way they implemented their plan was just, they didn't take several factors in the area into consideration. Because a lot of times, what's written down on paper is not going to work out on the field.
I mean, and is that something that these guys are going to figure out by watching a YouTube video, or is this something you just sort of gleaned from experience and
from
mistakes?
Experience?
Yeah,
no, it's going to be from experience. Because I would say that a lot of the knowledge that I have now is from things that I've learned out in the field. Especially with like irrigation. I remember when I went and got my irrigator's license, and the way you do things on paper, the way you figure out the hydraulics and the placement of the heads, it's clean and cut on paper.
Yeah.
But once you get to the job site,
whole different ballgame.
Oh yeah, you might you might have trees, you might have obstructions that aren't on the paper. So you have to accommodate the layout or the way things are going to be set up for that. Because there's just so many situations where where the only thing that's going to solve it is just field experience. Just from learning on the job site, learning from mistakes, and that's honestly the best way to learn. There's no wrong mistake unless you don't learn from the mistake that you made. I've made plenty of mistakes, but I've taken advantage of every single mistake that I've made and learned from it to make sure that I don't do that same thing again.
Yeah.
If X didn't work here, I make sure that I don't try that again on another job site because, it didn't work. But 17 years down the road, we're at a point where I know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Very rarely do we need to go back to resolve issues.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, and I know Kevin's kind of foaming at the mouth over here. He's really wanting that outdoor kitchen. So what are what are some of the strongest trends that you're seeing in that? Because I know you guys do a lot of those.
Well, the outdoor kitchens. I mean, it just, gosh. I mean. One of the major products that we sell are our bull grills.
Okay.
Bull grills, and we probably sell more outdoor kitchens that are just the grill itself than the whole setup where it's the grill, the refrigerator, the sink, and everything. And more often than not, people that we've sold the sink and the whole setup, they really don't end up using all of that. They end up using just the grill.
Yeah.
Because they'll just cook it outdoors, but they eat it inside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen them now where like you have like multiple units.
Oh yeah.
Going in these things where you got your egg, and then you got your smoker, and then you got your gas grill, and
No, and a lot of those come in little modular systems where they're set up with different cabinets, but then you veneer them with either Coronado stone or whatever, to make it look like it's custom made. Well,
Sure.
it is custom made, but it's more of a modular approach to it versus completely starting off from scratch. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing what you can do now. I mean, we've installed pizza ovens,
Oh, that's awesome.
outdoor pizza ovens for people.
Like the brick ones, like the wood fire.
Yep.
I
Bell
love me some pizza.
Yeah. The one that we've installed quite a bit is the Bell Guard. The Bell Guard has a nifty pizza oven. It's fire. It's wood burning.
Yeah.
And it's neat.
Is that kind of like a plug and play kind of a deal, or is it something you actually have to like put together?
No, you have to put it together.
Okay.
Yeah. No. It's a kit that comes in, but you have to assemble it. And it's not like 2-3 pieces. I mean, it's a project.
It's involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So so like say I call you, we get I'm just in averages here, obviously, but like we're doing an outdoor kitchen. How long does it take you guys to put one in?
It's gonna range anywhere from a couple of days to a couple of weeks.
Yeah, depending on the size and what all's involved.
Oh yeah. We've done outdoor kitchens where we put them together in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've done outdoor kitchens where it takes us 2 weeks because not only are we installing the outdoor kitchen, but then we have to run plumbing, electrical, gas, all these other utilities to it. And sometimes we just have to wait on material or products to get here to finish the installation. And also just the time frame that it takes to construct it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have seen these where they're like home editions.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it's not hard for an outdoor kitchen to be $10,000, $20,000 for an outdoor kitchen.
Sure.
Just just an area for you to go grill.
Yeah.
And some of these areas, will turn into living areas. Where you have a roof, you have outdoor TV, you have living room, pretty much outdoors. Which it's awesome because that's been more of a trend nowadays, where people are wanting to spend more time outside. And then we don't install the misting systems, but then mosquito misting systems come in, to keep the mosquitoes away while you're enjoying the time outdoors.
Yeah. Yeah, those are cool too because you can put them on remote control and go to town, have the yard clear and ready for family time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're running up on an hour here, and I know some of the stuff that you guys do is sort of seasonal, so we'll probably want to have you coming back in when it starts warming up again and talk about some other stuff. But I know you got some specials that you're running right now. You wanted to talk about? Yeah,
I'm actually offering 20% off on new landscape lighting since it's getting dark early nowadays.
Stinking Ben
early.
Franklin.
Right. And and the thing is with landscape lighting, it not only serves, as an accent to your property, but it's also security,
Yeah.
Especially if you live in an area where you don't have street lights or your property is not illuminated as much as you would want it to be. You can come, and not only as, beauty to it, but security, It illuminates areas that will make you feel more secure, and you're actually able to see your property, without it being just a flood of light over everything.
Well, that is security too. And we've talked a lot about security. Some other episodes of, when your house is well lit, people who are trying to invade your home don't like going to your home.
Right.
So that's a plus there as well.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, but not only lights up your home, but it does an awesome job of accents on certain parts of your home, or certain parts of your landscape. A landscape job with the right placement of light fixtures, it's a night and day difference.
Mhm.
Right? So right now we're offering 20% on new jobs that will get that are approved in the month of November.
Yeah.
And we're also running a contest right now for people that we've done work for in the past to review us. If you will review us on Google, Angie's List, or Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
We're actually going to be giving away a 200-gallon live oak. It's a huge tree.
I was going to say that's a massive tree.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a mature tree. And it's a 200-gallon live oak that's going to be completely free with the installation.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm giving you this massive tree and you need to figure out what you need to do.
Go dig a hole.
Yeah. No, we will install it and tell you how to take care of it. And we will be raffling that in the new year.
Okay.
I don't remember if it's the first or actually the second or the third day of 2019. I'll have to check on that, but yeah, and all you have to do is just submit a review, and then send us an email that you submitted the review, so we have that, and that email will be entered into into the raffle.
Okay.
And we will do a raffle in the new year, and whoever wins it will have a new tree.
That's fantastic.
Cool.
I think you told me it's like almost a $3,000 value right there, right?
$2,750.
Yeah.
Yeah, $2,750.
Man. So by the time this airs, you'll basically have a little less than a month and a half,
right,
to get your review in and contact these guys to get your free tree.
Yes, sir.
That's got to be within the area of the company. We're not going to take this thing to like Ohio or
right. It's we will do it up to a 50-mile radius of the woodlands.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a great contest, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody threw it my way, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it.
It's awesome.
Cool. Well, we got one more thing that we do with all of our guests on our show. So we want to go ahead and move to the Final Four.
The Final Four.
Yeah, so I don't think we even warned you about this.
No, he didn't.
So we ask 4 questions to all of our guests.
The same 4 questions.
Same 4 questions, just to kind of, get an understanding of a few things, some common things here. So the first question is this: what's the must-have tool that you won't leave the house without? So if you're going to a job, what's the one thing that you will not leave the house without?
Man, it's probably 2 things.
Okay.
That's cheating.
Man, for me, it's probably my iPad and my measuring wheel.
Okay.
Because not a measuring tape, measuring wheel.
Measuring wheel.
There is a difference.
Yeah, because a lot of the jobs that I measure are more than 30 feet across, so it's a measuring wheel. And if you've had me out there, that I go out to your property and I take pictures of the areas that we're going to address, and from there I take my notes on my iPad. So it'd be those 2 things.
Okay.
Have you tried out the new Measure app from Apple?
Yes, I have, and I find that it's not as accurate as I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my measure wheel is not accurate to the inch, but it's accurate enough to where I can gauge it and bid your job accordingly.
All right. Yeah. Good. Well, the second question is this: what's a job that you've walked away from? Now, this could be something with your business, maybe something that you just said, you know what,
Oh,
well,
but-
if you're asking me, I'm
Oh,
not
no.
interested in doing it, or maybe it's just something around your house that you're going, I'm not trying to tackle that.
No, there's plenty of jobs that I turn away.
Okay.
Because we're at a point where if you're not willing to pay me what I think the job is worth, then I'd rather not do it.
Yeah.
Because if I do a job for you where I don't make any money, if an issue arises, I'm not going to want to go back to a job where I didn't make money.
Right.
So, I've learned over the years that if they're not willing to pay what you think the job is worth, walk away.
Yeah.
Walk away,
So what's one recently that happened then?
I haven't had one.
Haven't had one?
Not really.
Has there been a really big one you've ever walked away from? Been like, nope, just not going to do it.
No, I've actually had jobs where I thought I was bidding a little high,
Mm-hmm.
which I ended up getting. No, but there's been, yeah, and you know what? One thing that does end up, biting me in the butt a lot
Uh-huh.
is jobs where I'm trying to help people out.
Yeah.
Jobs where, maybe it
Feel
was
like you're doing the right thing, the good guy thing.
right. And, jobs are, it might be a $1,000 job or $1,500 jobs, and I'm doing it for $400.
Yeah.
My cost or less. And then this happens or that happens, and it just.
You should have walked away.
Yes, I should have been like, you know what, I just can't do it for
Right.
you. And there's plenty of jobs where that I have walked away from, where people, where they have offered me so much more work after I do their job. I was like, no, it's just not worth it to me. I mean,
Yeah.
I know where my margins need to be for me to pay my employees what I pay them and pay my advertisement, pay my insurance, pay my daily expenses, just my daily overhead.
Sure.
And if your job's not going to cover that, there's no point in me doing that.
Right.
People are in business to make money, so we have to maintain a certain
Margin.
profit. Yeah, a certain margin. Otherwise, you're
It's
not
not
gonna,
worth it.
Yeah, otherwise, no, it's not only not worth it, but you're not going to be around very
Right.
long.
Right.
In the 17 years that my business has been around, I've seen them come and go. And the thing is, I've seen small businesses fail, and I've seen large businesses fail. And it's all in the jobs that you're willing to take.
Sure.
There's only so many jobs that you can take where you don't make money.
Right.
There you just can't continue like that.
Yeah.
It'd be great to be able to do that, but you're not going to be around a long time.
Yeah, and I think that kind of leads us naturally into the next question, talking just about, how much margin you're putting in your life. So the next question is, how do you wind down at the end of a long day? I think that it's important for all of us to recognize that if we don't
Right.
release stress in our lives, then we're going to wind up exploding someday. So at the end of a long day, how do you typically wind down?
Well, normally during my business season, I will go home. I will have dinner with my family, homework, and put the kids to bed, and then I'll be back in my office working on bids. But when it's normal, then we get home. I do the dad thing. We have dinner. We always have dinner together. I didn't grow up having dinner with my family. In my household, when I was growing up, you ate when you got home. If I got home and nobody was home, I would go ahead and have dinner by myself. And whoever just kept coming in, it would just. And my wife is the one that actually implemented that we sit down as a family and eat.
Yeah.
And it was hard to adjust to that at first, coming from from a family where you come and go and eat as you come in and you're done with your day. But now, I mean, that's something that I value and that I need. You know, because I get home and we sit down with the kids and, we talk about the day.
Yeah.
What happened, what didn't happen, how the day's been going, and just share, and just commune with each other pretty much.
Sure.
And then from there, we put the kids to bed. And recently, with my wife, after we put the kids to bed, then her and I will end up going to the gym and work out. Our kids are older, so they can stay home by themselves. But we'll go to the gym for an hour or so and then come back home and then, go to bed.
Yeah.
And then repeat.
Yeah. Next day.
Yep.
All right. Last question. What's one of the best pieces of advice or wisdom that you ever have received?
Best, man. Oh, just treat people the way you would want to be treated. Treat your customers the way that you would want to be treated as a customer. That is one of the things that I stand by.
Yeah.
Because I myself as a customer have been burned multiple times. Gosh, the beginning of this year alone, I had issues with contractors. So I wouldn't want to put customers into a situation that I wouldn't want to be in. So I try to be upfront and just make sure that we're all on the same page from the get-go. That way there's no surprises at the end.
Well, listen, Samir, we really appreciate you being here and taking the time to talk with us. And we try every episode to give our listeners some good information and advice, and I think that you've really helped us with that. We're going to link up to the show notes for anyone who's listening, ways to get a hold of Greenscape Innovations. And if you have any questions, send him some information. You can always contact us at info@homeowners.com as well. And, go ahead and make sure that you like us and leave us a review. That would really help us as well. And from here, we just hope everyone has a great week. We'll see you later.
See ya.